Hey everybody, it's Claudia. So as you can see by the title below, this video is going to be all about body positivity and my personal body confidence story. I've never really done a video like this before. I'm going to try and keep it as short and sweet as possible, and it is going to be a little bit more of like a vlog slash story time slash talking to you guys video, so I'm going to also try and not repeat myself and hopefully get my point across as quickly and easily as possible. So I'm going to try and keep this video, I just said that. I'm already losing. I just repeated myself. Just did it. Great. If you've been following me on social media for a while and following me on YouTube here as well, you'll know that every year I pick a word to kind of live my year by. This year is inspire, and last year in 2014 it was fearless. So I'm kind of combining those two things together, and I'm trying to be a fearless inspiration for you guys, and I am going to talk about my personal struggle with body confidence and feeling good about myself and lack of self-confidence that will be addressed in this video. I'm also going to talk a little bit about skinny shaming versus fat shaming. Also going to give you some tips and tricks if you're not feeling as confident as you wish you were feeling, or you want to be more confident, or you're trying to kind of live a life where you are loving yourself and being as happy as possible. Hopefully this video will give you some inspiration on all of that, and I'm going to give you a few of my personal thoughts on all of those topics. I do have to do a little disclaimer, and I'm going to try and be as nice about this as possible because I don't mean this in a mean or negative way, but this is not like a health video. This isn't going to give you like dieting tips or tricks or workout. That'll come later on in the month. And it's also not going to address the topics of bulimia or anorexia. Those are two body image, I don't even know what the way to, is it a mental illness? I think, again, I'm really trying to be like really gentle and kind about this because I know they are not a joke and they are not something that should be taken lightly at all, but this is not the video for that. This is just trying to help anyone who needs it with feeling confident with themselves the way they are. And basically with body confidence, it's including everyone. So I hope I'm not gonna get any hate for that, but this is just gonna be kind of a story helpful video as opposed to like a professional health video. But I'm gonna start off with explaining what body confidence is, and that to me is being confident at any size. Body confidence is a really inclusive word, and the more I think we start including everyone in the movement to feel better about yourself and love others, the easier it's gonna be, because with body confidence you don't skinny shame, you don't fat shame, you don't criticize, you don't judge, there's no negativity surrounding it. It's all just positive and happy and trying to kind of build everyone up instead of knock everyone down. So body confidence and body positivity is a cause that is very close to my heart. I was never a small child. I was never a tiny person. I am currently 5'9", and on a good day I am a size 10, and I most of the time wear large or extra large shirts depending on how baggy I want it. If you have seen any of my lookbooks, you know that I do tend to wear more like baggy, loose fitting clothes, which is just part of my style and the way I like to dress. But I was never a small person, and I don't think I'm ever going to be a small person, and I think that's okay. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my personal story with body image and my struggles with feeling self-confident. There was a time in elementary school where I was too tall and too big for kids stores, and I was too short and too tiny for regular women's stores. So it was a very difficult time in my life through probably, I'd say, grades like 4 to 6. I really struggled with clothing and shopping, and it was a really, really horrific experience for me. Also along those lines with elementary school and through elementary school and junior high and a little bit into high school, I was pretty heavily bullied. The first time I was called fat was in grade 2. And I remember in grade 5 I started to try and like suck in my stomach while I was at school because I thought that that would make me look thinner and that I wouldn't get teased as much. But I got called fat a lot in my life, and that is something that I don't think any girl or boy should ever say to another person, but they should never have to hear those words about themselves. So between not having a store that fit me and being teased and called fat and ugly and those kind of mean words at school, I did struggle a lot through elementary school, and then in junior high school it got a little bit better. But I do have to tell you guys this story because looking back on it now as a 20-year-old empowered female, I would punch both the people in this story in the face. Not that I ever want to resort to physical violence, but once you hear the story, I think you'll agree with me. So basically, when I was in grade 7, a boy that I really liked called me fat, and I did the normal response that any person probably would have, and I went home crying, and my mom ended up calling the school. And the next day, him and I were in class, and we both got called down to the office. And the next day, I was like over it. I kind of forgot about it. It was one of those things where when you are with that boy, you just are like, oh my god, you're the best thing ever, I love you so much. And we were walking down to the office together, and he looked at me and he was like, why are we going down there? And I'm like, I literally have no idea. I don't know what's going on. So we walked into the principal's office, who was a male principal, which first off, a male should have never dealt with this situation in my personal opinion. It should have been a female teacher, but that's besides the point. I can't change it now. But we went into, I'm gonna call him Mr. Principal, his office, turns to the boy and he's like, do you know why you're here? And he says no, and then Mr. Principal looks at me and says, Claudia, do you know why you're here? And I said no, I still didn't have any idea. And he goes, we got a call from your mom last night. And I'm like, oh my god, no. It all came flooding back to me, and I wanted to crawl under a frickin' rock. Like, I was just like, Lord, take me now, because I wanted to die. I knew exactly why we were down there, and it was just not good. But Mr. Principal looks at the boy and he's like, so Claudia's mom called us and she said that you said something to Claudia yesterday. And he was like, I didn't say anything. And Mr. Principal looks at me and says, Claudia, what did he say to you? And I still personally don't like saying the word fat. It is probably my least favorite word ever. But 13-year-old Claudia had an even bigger problem with it, and I looked at the boy and I was like, probably was literally like a turtle, and I was like, you called me fat. And he was like, oh yeah, I did, it's cause you are. And so I had to hold back tears right then and there too. And Mr. Principal was like, we don't say that to people, apologize. And so the boy was like, sorry. And Mr. Principal was like, okay, that's fine, you can go. So the boy leaves, and I'm sitting there still holding back tears like, oh my god, kill me now. This is the worst experience of my life. And he looks at me and he's like, I just want to give you some words of encouragement. And I was like, okay. He's like, I had a student a few years ago and she was a little tinier than you, but still quite big. I mean, you're quite big, so you guys were both, anyway. She became a model in grade 9 and there's still hope for you. Excuse me? There is still hope for me? What? Like, this is what's wrong with our society, is the fact that a female didn't deal with this. There was no real apology from this boy, and that the teacher then goes on and insults me further. Like, are you kidding me? This is where I think most body confidence problems come from, is that the bullying, even though it probably will never be able to be stopped, is not even dealt with properly. So that's kind of the two big things I remember as a young girl having issues with, and then obviously constantly being called fat and ugly at school doesn't make you feel real great about yourself. So if you are dealing with that currently in your life, 1, I apologize. 2, it is absolutely not about you. And 3, once you leave school, it's gonna get a lot better. I'm gonna give you some tips to hopefully try and make it through school right now. I want you to know that if you are struggling with body image or not feeling good about yourself or being bullied or any of those issues, just know that you can always message me on Facebook at Claudia Norris Music. I would love to talk to you and hear your story. You can also tweet me as well at Claudia with 2 A's at the end, Norris. I would love to talk to you guys about this because I do think it's an issue that will not be resolved if it's not talked about. But that's kind of my personal story. It was really hard to transition from being a bullied kid into a positive, happy with herself female. So there's 3 big ways that I kind of became really happy with myself and learned to love myself. The first way is probably the most awkward and hardest way, but I promise you, once you get past probably into it for a week, it doesn't become as awkward. So basically what you're gonna do every morning is you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and say one happy, nice thing to yourself. So mine started off with every morning I would look in the mirror and say, you have really beautiful eyelashes. No one's ever teased me about my eyelashes. If anything, I get complimented on them more than anything else on my body. And so that's where I started, and once that became really easy to say, I switched to something else. And people have always said that I have nice eyebrows, so then I started saying you have really nice eyebrows, and then you have really nice teeth, and you have really nice hair, and so on and so on. And you've got to compliment yourself every single day. You got to look in the mirror, you can't look away. You have to really feel that about yourself, because I promise you, probably a month in, you're gonna start believing and be like, girl, you are perfect, you are everything. Maybe not perfect, no one's perfect, but you're gonna feel so much better about yourself and already start that confidence because it's coming from within you. The second thing that you can do to feel more confident about yourself is get into a gym routine or into a fitness routine if you don't have one already. Basically, when you go to the gym and you kill it with your workout, you can't hate your body. All you can do is feel so proud of it and feel so amazed with yourself that you've done such a great kind of thing and realize how amazing your body is. You can't be mad at your body when you've just killed your workout. So I recommend finding something that you love to do that you're not gonna hate and is not like a bore to go to and you don't dread going to it. I will have a video up in the next few weeks about a fitness routine. If that's something you're looking for and wanting to know more about, that will be coming your way very soon. But getting into a fitness routine and trying to eat a little bit better, you'll just feel better, and when you feel better in your body, you mentally feel better about yourself. I know that sounds really lame and weird, but it works. The third thing that you're gonna do for me is you're gonna go tell anyone who is very, very important to you that you talk to on a daily basis. People that you go to when something amazing or horrible in your life happens that you really need to talk to. What you're gonna do is you're gonna tell them how you're feeling, because they can't support you and they can't understand you if they don't know how you're feeling, because how can they? Your experience is different than everyone else's experience, and your mom and your boyfriend and your dad and your sibling and your friends can really help you kind of learn to love yourself and assist you with what you might need. Your friends and family can help you more than I think we think they can, and we often want to keep all of our demons and our struggles held up inside of us, but sometimes it feels really, really good, and it is so much easier to tell everyone around you, because then if you're struggling and falling off the wagon or you're having a really bad day, they might kind of understand a little bit more as to why. Hopefully I've covered everything about body confidence and given you a few tips and tricks. And now really quickly before I end this video, I want to touch a little bit on skinny shaming versus fat shaming, because there are a few things with that I struggle with as someone who is not a thin person. But when people who are thinner, whatever term is socially acceptable for that now, thinner, skinnier, whatever, being told to eat a cheeseburger is probably never going to hurt as much as you're fat or you're a cow or eat a salad. My only reason saying this, and I'm probably gonna get some hate for this whole topic, and I really do mean this with as much love, and as I just told you guys, my whole thing is body confidence and to not make fun of anyone. So I really am not coming from a place of negativity or judgment or hate with this whole topic, but a thinner person, probably from the sizes, for the rest of these points I'm gonna make, I'm going to categorize thin or skinny people into probably a 00 to a 6 or an 8. The problem with skinny shaming is that the media is all about skinny and thin people. Models, TV, music, books, magazines, every single celebrity is trying to be as thin and as tiny as possible, and there are not many bigger people in the media or in celebrity today. Most of the time when people are saying to someone eat a cheeseburger, which again I don't think is a good thing to say, but when that is said, it is probably more meant from a place of joke than judgment, and when someone calls you fat, it hurts. And people who are thin are looked at automatically as more beautiful than someone who is bigger, which again I think is horrible, but it's just the way it is because of the world we live in today. The second thing a thinner person is never going to experience is asking a salesperson at a clothing store for a bigger size and them not having it. There is nothing worse than sitting in a change room and crying. And this has happened to me many a time, and I now look at it, back to the body positivity train, that the clothing store is losing out, because if it's a cute shirt that just doesn't fit and I could have used a bigger size, or I want it to be a little bit more roomy, that's their loss, probably 50 to 100 bucks. Like, shame on you for not making a bigger size, not shame on me for not being smaller. So that is something that is a traumatic, horrible experience, and I have gone shopping many a time with my friends who are all 2s and 4s and 6s and 5'0" and 5'6" and 5'4", and I've sat in the change room while they're all trying on cute dresses and shorts and tank tops, and I'm crying That has happened. And so they're never gonna know what it's like to walk into a store where we're all shopping together and not want to come out of the change room because you can't even do a dress up. The third thing that a thinner person is probably never gonna have to deal with, and again, I have never been thin, these are just my opinion, is that I often don't want to eat in front of friends or family in fear that someone is gonna see me eating and think or say she's fat. Think before you skinny shame and think before you fat shame. But if you are a thinner person, think of how that might feel for someone who is bigger with the media and the clothing and the eating thing. Because it's sometimes easier to fix these problems if we can all walk in each other's shoes. So I hope this video helps you in some way. Again, this was just to promote love and body positivity and confidence. And if no one has told you yet today that you're beautiful, I will tell you, you are beautiful. You are perfect and you are amazing no matter what the label on the back of your pants says, because it's your goals and your dreams and your love that is going to move you through this world, not the letter on your top. So that is gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so I know. If you want more videos like this or have a story to share, leave me a comment down below. I would love to read it and talk to you guys. Again, always feel free to tweet me or send me a message on Facebook at Claudia Norris Music, and I will definitely talk to you and respond to you guys on there. If you want to read my thoughts about this as well in a little bit maybe a more concise way and some tips, all that stuff in the ramblings that I've been saying in the last 15 minutes, there will be a blog post down below for you guys, so you can just click the down bar, open it up, and it should be the first link there for you. Definitely share this video with your friends and family or someone you know that maybe could use this advice on body positivity, because the more we spread it around and be kind to one another, the easier and better this world is going to become. I hope you have a great day, night, whenever you're watching this. Love yourself and know you're amazing. I will talk to you in my next video on Monday. Bye.